The Amazing Life of Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein is not only one of history's most important physicists, but his influential nature made him famous personality. The Time magazine also named him famous person of the century. Albert Einstein was born at Ulm in Baden-Württemberg, Germany, on 14 March 1879, into a non-observant Jewish family. His father, Hermann Einstein, was originally a featherbed salesman and later ran an electrochemical factory. But he spent his most childhood in Munich and later Milan, Italy. Einstein reportedly was slow in learning how to talk. That, combined with his tendency to whisper words softly to himself before saying them aloud, led the family maid to nickname him Der Deppert, the dopey one. Albert Einstein was very poor in school. But he excelled at math and physics from a young age, reaching mathematical level years ahead of his peers. The 12-year-old Einstein taught himself algebra and Euclidean geometry over a single summer. Einstein also independently discovered his own original proof of the Pythagorean theorem. Aged 12, Einstein started teaching himself calculus at 12, and as a 14-year-old he says he had mastered integral and differential calculus. Imagination is the highest form of research. Albert Einstein had a terrible reputation while studying at Swiss Polytechnic Institute. Professors never took him seriously. He did so poorly at school that he nearly decided to drop out and just sell life insurance. After completed graduation, his first legitimate employment was as a patent clerk. Every day, he would sit down, review patents, and analyze mathematical equations. Patents had a lot of math in them. And Einstein loved it, and the rest is history from here. When he argued that light can bend, all the physicists thought he was crazy, and he lost his wife who divorced him and left with his children. Years into his research, Einstein became mentally and physically ill, and his safety was at risk because of his German-Jewish origin at the time of the World War II. Within his several remarkable quotes, my favorite one is, "You never fail until you stop trying." When Einstein was 5 years old and sick in bed, his father gave him a compass, and the little boy was fascinated that the needle which always pointed to the same place. This made him understand that there were forces that drove things where there was apparently nothing. Another important influence on Einstein was a young medical student, Max Talmud, later Max Talmay, who introduced him to a children's science series by Aaron Bernstein, in which the author imagined riding alongside electricity that was traveling inside a telegraph wire. Even as a child, though, he knew that stationary light waves had never been seen, so there was a paradox. Einstein also wrote his first scientific paper at that time, the investigation of the state of ether in magnetic fields. In 1905, Albert Einstein was working as a clerk in the patent office in Bern, Switzerland. The 26-year-old had only recently submitted his doctoral thesis to the University of Zurich, but was hard at work writing 4 papers in a single year that would eventually turn the world of science on its head. That is why 1905 is often referred to as an annus mirabilis, or miraculous year in Latin. Albert Einstein laid the foundation of quantum physics, introduced special relativity, and established the scientific basis of nuclear energy in his spare time. He had received the Nobel Prize in 1921 for physics, but for the photoelectric effect rather than for his relativity theories. During his acceptance speech, Einstein startled the audience by speaking about relativity instead of the photoelectric effect. One of the most unknown aspects of the physicist's personal life was his fondness for the violin. At the age of 6 he began to take classes. He himself said that if he had not been a scientist he would have dedicated himself to music. Times after the first president of the State of Israel, Chaim Weizmann, died in 1952. Times the Prime Minister asked Einstein to step into the, mostly ceremonial, role. The physicist declined, writing, "I am deeply moved by the offer from our State of Israel, and at once saddened and ashamed that I cannot accept it." He died on 18 April 1955 at Princeton, New Jersey, and his ashes scattered in undisclosed places. There are only two ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle. The other is as though everything is a miracle. Albert Einstein.